Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the 6 digit session for members. I hope all is well and we will continue on the business model canvas today and particularly what are the new business model. अभी कुछ हमने उस पे WhatsApp पे भी बड़ी अच्छी पोस्ट देखी थी जिसमें एक तो टॉप 25 स्किल्स की बात हो रही थी एंड देन देयर वाज अ डिस्कशन अराउंड जो बिजनेस मॉडल कैनवस जो पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट के लिए यूज होता है या पर्सनल प्लानिंग के लिए यूज होता है दैट्स सो उसके लिए जो यूज हो रहा होता है सो दैट्स रियली हेल्प्स in terms of how you should look at your career. Anyone, before we get into that, I would like that number of people who have completed that the business model canvas for themselves, either for as a job, as a career progression, or as a business. So you can post yes, no in the question tab, or you can raise your hand, and we will at least 4 to 5 different business model we will try to go through today. I think let's wait for another 5 minutes. I can see a lot of people are joining right now. Thank you, Tamina. Yep, you have shared that earlier. We are looking for more people to share that. So while people are joining, the people who have already joined, I've got an interesting question there. How you rate philosophy as a one of a subject, and how you think it can help or challenge people? Philosophy as a subject, boring, right? Anyone else? Don't have much knowledge about? It's not based on logic, great, essential to life. Okay, interesting and vast subject. Anyone who has studied philosophy formally, informally? So Not yet, but interesting in doing so. So Hafez. So Tehmina, if you want to share what, and Hafez, I would invite you as well. So Tehmina, if you want to share how it helped or how it challenged and what that subject is all about, if you can raise your hand, I can unmute you. A very quick one, 1 to 2 minutes. Ji, Tehmina, you can unmute yourself.
Hello. Good evening.
Ji,
Yeah. So talking about philosophy, I think जैसा कि यहाँ पे someone said कि it's an interesting and vast subject. That's true. But without that subject, I guess आपका जो outlook about life होता है वो develop ही नहीं हो पाता. Because in every aspect of our life, in one way or another, we are looking at the philosophical element. ये अलग बात है कि we don't get into the deeper observation, but one way or another, everybody, जो भी हम सारे हैं, we are connected to that philosophical element किसी ना किसी तरीके से. तो I would say कि हमारी पूरी जो दुनिया है basically, it's part of that philosophical structure. आपकी जो जितने भी शायर गुजरे हैं, if somebody is interested in poetry, तो I guess वो भी philosophy के ही ऊपर depend से ही originate करते थे. हमारे पास जितने भी हम कहेंगे सूफीज़म का जो concept है वो भी philosophy ही से originate करता है. इवन जितनी भी आपकी जो कहते हैं कि सेल्फ अवेयरनेस एंड सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, इन वन वे और अनदर वो फिलॉसफी के साथ ही कनेक्टेड है. तो अगर आप लाइफ को समझना चाहते हैं, आप अपने आप को समझना चाहते हैं, तो आई गेस आपको बेसिक फिलॉसफी की कोई ना कोई अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी चाहिए.
very true, very true. So Hafiz, if you want to add something, Hafiz Mohammed Yasir. And Matib, I'll come back to you as well. Why it's boring, and Fahad Mohsin, why it does not have a logic. So Hafiz Mohammed Yasir, if you can raise your hand and I can unmute you. Yeah, please.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Walaikum salam.
सर वो जैसे मिस तहमीना ने भी बात की है, बिल्कुल मैं उनसे एग्री करता हूँ. मैं इसके बारे में ज़्यादा जानता नहीं, और डेफिनेटली जितना मिस ने शेयर किया है वही वाली बात है, जितना सूफीज़म यानी कि लॉजिक, नेचर ऑफ नॉलेज, रियलिटी, एग्जिस्टेंस, तो ये एक बहुत ही जैसे बात की वास्ट यानी कि है इसको. तो अभी मैं बस इसकी स्टार्टिंग में क्या नहीं, यानी कि मैं इसमें खुद इंटरेस्ट रखता हूँ, तो मजीद बस जैसे 6 से फ्री होंगे तो ये मेरे एक कोर प्रायोरिटी में इंशाल्लाह शामिल होगा, फिलोसफी की तरफ भी मैं आऊँ.
Okay, great. Thank you, Hafiz. And Matib, you mentioned that it's a boring one. So can we have your views as well? Matib, if you can raise your hand, I can help you to unmute. Okay, Waqas Rafiq, you want to add something? Waqas, you can unmute yourself. Waqas Rafiq.
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
Walaikum salam.
मैं अभी भी ज्वाइन किया है इसको वेबिनार को, तो अभी जस्ट सूफीज़म के बारे में देखा. तो बेसिकली मैंने काफ़ी बुक्स तो नहीं पढ़ी, लेकिन सूफीज़म को ऑब्जर्व किया मैंने.
Acha, Waqas,
सूफीज़म
let me give you the question then. The question
ओके.
was कि आप में से कितने familiar हैं philosophy as a subject and how it works in your life. So question जो है वो philosophy as a subject के हवाले से है.
फिलोसफी एज अ सब्जेक्ट कभी इन लाइफ में स्टडी नहीं किया, लेकिन ज़रूर इंटरेस्टेड होऊंगा. लेकिन एज अ सब्जेक्ट अगर इसको स्टडी किया जाए ना, सूफीज़म इससे काफ़ी आगे है. मतलब कि ये स्टडी करने स्टडी तो किया जा सकता है, लेकिन वो बैक एंड पे ही होगा. लेकिन जो एक्चुअल सूफीज़म है वो इससे आगे ही है, और प्योर फलसफा है बेसिकली. मतलब कि वो सूफीज़म कह सकते हैं आप, ये एक बिहेवियर है, पॉजिटिव बिहेवियर. अगर हम इसको एक लफ्ज़ में लेके आए, फिलॉसफी और सूफीज़म एक पॉजिटिव बिहेवियर है, वो किसी भी सेंस में हो सकता है. जैसे एक बंदा कहता है जी, लेट्स से दुनिया जो है ना फानी है, ठीक है ना, तो ये सूफीज़म में वो कह रहा है कि ये इस दुनिया की वर्थ कुछ भी नहीं है, असल दुनिया तो इससे आगे है. जो कि ऐसा वर्ल्ड है जो शायद हम इमेजिन भी ना कर सकें। तो मैंने जो स्टडी तो नहीं किया ना, लेकिन मैंने ऑब्जर्व बहुत जगहों पे किया, मतलब कि ह्यूमन बिहेवियर। समटाइम आपको बड़ी हैप्पीनेस होती है, आप किसी को कोई चीज़ गिफ्ट करते हैं, आप इतना कुछ दे भी नहीं सकते, लेकिन आप कोई भी चीज़ देते हैं तो आपको एक फीलिंग आती है। और समटाइम आपको ऐसे ऐसे लोग मिलते हैं, वो कोई क्वालिफाइड नहीं होते, वो कोई इतने पढ़े लिखे नहीं होते, लेकिन वो कोई ऐसी बात कर देते हैं जो बहुत गहराई होती है और बड़ी लेंथ होती है उनमें। बस इतने में कहूँ।
Thank you, Vikas. Thank you.
बस।
Fahad Mohsin, you want to share something?
हेलो, दोबारा अनम्यूट किया?
नहीं, Fahad. Sorry.
ओके ओके।
जी
Fahad.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर।
वालेकुम सलाम.
सर दरअसल मेरा वो फिलॉसफी से एक बेसिक इख्तिलाफ है। जब तक कोई चीज 2+2=4 ना हो, जिसके पीछे मैं लॉजिक नहीं डिफाइन कर सकता, वो चीज ना मुझे समझ में आती है ना मुझसे समझाई जाती है। अब फिलॉसफी के जिस तरह वो बेसिक फिलोसफिकल क्वेश्चंस क्या होते हैं, डू गॉड्स एग्जिस्ट, कि इस तरह करके वो चले जाते हैं। फिर भाई कोई एक एशियन फिलोसफी होगी, वो आप वेस्टर्न फिलोसफी के ऊपर नहीं वो कर सकते, उस पर इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर सकते। तो मतलब है ना, वो स्कोप इसका बहुत वास्ट हो जाता है। एक बेसिक आइडिया तो है कि वो स्टडी ऑफ ओरिजिन करते हैं या नॉलेज करते हैं कि उसके पीछे वो जाते हैं। बट मैंने जितना वो दोस्तों से पढ़ा है, क्योंकि मैंने फिलोसफी पढ़ी है, जब भी मैं उनसे पूछता हूँ यार इसको डिफाइन करो क्या चीज है, तो वेग सा एक आंसर होता है। मे बी दे वर नॉट दैट ब्रिलियंट स्टूडेंट्स इन फिलोसफी, बट मुझे कभी इसका रैशनल नहीं समझ में आया यार, ये किस तरीके स्ट्रक्चर क्या है इस चीज का, कि कहाँ से ओरिजिन कर रहा है, किस तरीके से आपने लेके चलना है, और एट द एंड आप अचीव क्या करना चाह रहे हैं। तो मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग वो ना वेग है कि अब कोई वही एक मतलब डिस्कशन हो रही थी मेरे दोस्त से, वो पता नहीं वो मिडिवल फिलोसफी बता रहा था, फिर मॉडर्न फिलोसफी बता रहे थे, वेस्टर्न फिलोसफी बता रहे थे। मैं नहीं समझ में लग रही थी चीज मुझे ये। तो इस वजह से मैं कहता हूँ यार, ये जो जितनी मेरी इंफॉर्मेशन है मेरे मुताबिक वो लॉजिक पे नहीं बनी हुई।
Okay. Okay, great. And अगर मैं मेरा सवाल आपसे फहद स्पेसिफिकली आपसे होगा यही सवाल कि if you have to define your purpose, right? Why you
ओके
exist? You started with the question, does God exist? और उसके hypothesis हो सकते हैं और बहुत से उसमें
जी जी
philosophical debates हो सकती हैं.
जी।
But if I ask you the question, why you exist or what you really want to achieve in your life or who you are, what you're going to do you have those answers?
नो, बिकॉज आई डोंट लाइक दिस टाइप ऑफ आंसर। के मतलब है ना, मेरा बेसिक इस, क्योंकि ये चीज है ना, ये बहुत वेग हो जाती है। मैं खुद बताता हूँ कि भाई मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग लाइफ के बारे में क्या है। अब मेरी
So what's
अंडरस्टैंडिंग
your
कुछ और होगी।
understanding? Yeah. What's your understanding about life?
सर इसमें रिलीजियस व्यूज भी आ जाते हैं, इसके अंदर पर्सनल व्यूज भी आ जाते हैं। तो मतलब
No, it's your
बेसिकली
view, so nobody can object
ठीक
that
है,
one.
ठीक है। तो बेसिकली कि एज अ कम्युनिटी में मेरी क्या हैसियत है, कि भाई मैं कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा हूँ अपने नेबर्स के, अपने कम्युनिटी के, अपनी फैमिली में मैं किस लेवल पे मैं मैटर करता हूँ। अगर सपोज कर मैं मर भी जाता हूँ या कुछ हो जाता है, कि वुड एनीवन बी अफेक्टेड, कि मैं कुछ काम करके ऐसा गया हुआ हूँ, कोई कंट्रीब्यूट मैंने किया उस सोसाइटी में, या किसी दो बंदों के लिए कोई चीज मैंने कोई अच्छी चीज की हो, कि सोसाइटी के लिए कि कुछ मैं कंट्रीब्यूट करके गया हूँ कि नहीं, और मैंने कुछ करना है, ये मेरा है कि कोई मतलब चैरिटेबल इंस्टीट्यूशन बना दूं, कोई कुछ कर दूं। थिंकिंग वो है, वो फिर मीन्स और वो कमिटमेंट फिर आ जाती है उस चीज के ऊपर। लेकिन मेरा ये तो है एज अ सोसाइटी को मैं क्या दे के जा रहा हूँ। कोई जिस तरह आइंस्टाइन साहब वो E=mc² दे गए, वो पता नहीं कब तक उसको याद रखेंगे उस चीज को। वो सोसाइटी को कुछ दे के गए हैं। आई कैन नॉट कम्पीट विद आइंस्टाइन, मैंने वो अपनी लिमिटेशन मान ली है, बट फिर भी अपने लेवल पे जितना मैं कर सकता हूँ कि एम आई यूटिलाइजिंग माई फुल पोटेंशियल टू कंट्रीब्यूट टुवर्ड्स द सोसाइटी। तो
I
हमारी
think,
प्रायोरिटी हमेशा
yep, thank you. I think that's a very simple, that's what we call about, this is the philosophy, how you're going to live your life. आपके पास एक पर्पस है, यू हैव गॉट अ क्वेश्चन व्हिच यू आर ट्राइंग टू प्रॉब कि आपने अपनी कम्युनिटी को, अपनी सोसाइटी को क्या देना है, कब देना है, कैसे देना है। एंड उसके बाद दूसरा पॉइंट आ जाता है कि ओके दैट्स समथिंग यू बिलीव that this is how you want to live your life. Do you have a plan to do so? Right? Actions हैं ऐसे, और it's a wishful thing.
Yeah, it's for now अगर मैं current position देखूं, it's a wishful thinking. It is more than a wishful thinking. मतलब है ना, it is a, वो क्या कहते हैं, moon shot जो नहीं कहते कि भाई ये 200 किलोमीटर दूर अभी वो है, जहाँ पे जो मेरे जहन में है और जो जहाँ पे मैं करंटली अभी हूँ, मैं मतलब है ना, अगर मैं अपने को देखूं तो मैं 0 पे भी नहीं हूँ, मैं -5 या -6 पे हूँ, कि अगर उस लिहाज से मैं देखा जाए।
I wouldn't say that because आपके पास एक चीज जो है ना, you have to understand that a lot of people don't know what their philosophy is, why they want to live the life and how they want to live the life, right? So मेरे लिहाज से अगर मैं आपको evaluate करूं तो you are somewhere like 25-30% तक आप पहुंच गए हुए हैं, क्योंकि आपने अपना वो fundamental purpose define कर लिया, right? अभी आपका कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है कि वाकई यही है, इसके अलावा भी कुछ हो सकता है, और क्या मैं वाकई में इतना बड़ा पर्पस क्यों डिफाइन करूं? ये तो एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने वाली बात है ना। तो व्हाई कांट, अगर मैंने ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले ली तो फिर तो अकाउंटेबिलिटी शुरू हो जाएगी, फेलियर आ जाएगा तो लोगों की जजमेंट्स आ जाएंगी, और जजमेंट्स आ जाएंगी तो मैं तो वो बंदा हूँ ना जो अपने मुतालिक ओपिनियन दूसरों की ओपिनियन पे बिल्ड करता हूँ, right? So then you get in all those questions. So I think the first fundamental thing which you have solved for yourself, you at least know your direction of travel, right? अब उसके बाद आता है कि how convinced you are and how bold you are that you want to put together a plan to execute it. या अभी आप अपने बहुत से जो self doubts हैं, you didn't want to clarify those self doubts, but that's exactly what the philosophy is. Action will come later, but getting that fundamental right, or at least evaluating the sense of direction or direction of the journey, अगर आप उसको sense कर लेते हैं तो I think that's a big achievement. Most of the time we can't do that. Philosophy is not a very complicated thing. Philosophy is talking about a very fundamental question and trying to solve that. So इससे ज्यादा philosophy कुछ नहीं होती. You can have a multiple complicated issues जिसके hypothesis और debates हो सकती हैं, but every human being need a fundamental philosophy, why they exist, what is their purpose. और knowing our society, self doubt तो again जैसे मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, तमाशबीनी हमारा एक national sports है, self doubt हमारा national behavior है, then criticism हमारा एक national behavior है. So these are the things which we have evolved as a behavior over the period. And the sixth digit, the entire purpose is that to really help you recognize those behavior and create appropriate responses around it. So the whole purpose of picking up the philosophy, I'll come back why we were talking about philosophy and why those fundamentals are important. But where you were talking about -5, you might be somewhere like 25-30% to आपको clarity है. How you're gonna do that will come later. But are you convinced enough, और आप अभी एक self doubt state पे exist करते हैं, so वो आपको अपनी existence की वो state से बाहर निकलना है, और that will take certain effort. वो आपका अपना decision है कि कब आप उससे बाहर निकलना चाहेंगे, एक wishful thinking से एक effort based activity पे कब आप enter होते हैं. Ansa also want to contribute something. Ansa, you want? Ansa, you can unmute yourself. You raised hand. Ansa Malik. Okay, great. So guys, why we picked up the philosophy, how it's linked with the business model canvas. You know, we are talking about in a business model canvas, we are talking about a value proposition for someone and how you are really going to serve that customer and how you build those relationships. It would be different from person to person, and that will be based on their experiences, their behaviors, and then their overall philosophy, how they really want to live that one. It doesn't mean you can not have profit. Profit is always an option, but profit is not bad, wealth creation is not a bad phenomena. You just have to make sure कि आपकी fundamental philosophy क्या है उस customer को serve करने के लिए. And I'll give you a couple of value propositions there. A lot of people come up with a value proposition which is linked with the price and affordability, right? Rather than creating a value. Sometimes it's totally okay to sell something very, very expensive and make huge margin on that. That's okay. Not necessarily every customer base is, or every customer segment is looking for a cheap product or an affordable product. There is a customer segment who will not buy it if it doesn't cross a certain threshold. अगर आप उनको एक हमारी लाइफ में मैंने शायद पहले भी जिक्र किया, I was in Karachi working and I was with a crowd and they said कि उन्होंने कहीं पे कोई फंक्शन था वहां पे जाना था and the crowd was talking, हमने उस फंक्शन पे नहीं जाना, वो तो सारा होंडा टोयोटा वाला क्राउड है and I was in Mehran at that time. So they were saying कि हमने उस इवेंट पे नहीं जाना, उस फंक्शन पे नहीं जाना कि वहां पे जो क्राउड आता है ना वो सारा होंडा टोयोटा वाला आता है, and they were like the Land Cruisers and all that part. So that's always a customer base. If you try to sell something cheaper to them और एक threshold से नीचे बेचने की कोशिश करेंगे, they will not go for that. They can buy Honda as long as it crosses a certain price range, and then the Honda may be making money out of this one. So you have to really understand कि आप किस customer segment को serve करने जा रहे हैं. And then what is your philosophy of that service and what is their philosophy in acquiring that service, why they exist, why they work, and why they behave the way they behave it. So जब आप business की बात करते हैं ना तो वहां पे understanding your own philosophy and understanding your customer segment philosophy is very important. Otherwise you will not create the right kind of value proposition, or if you create a right kind of value proposition you will not be able to inspire that customer segment क्योंकि आप उसकी pricing सही नहीं कर पा रहे होंगे. The channel where they believe they should be the channel you should be using to serve them, वो आप नहीं कर पा रहे. तो जब हम customer segment की understanding की बात करते हैं ना तो हम fundamental psychographic demographics की बात कर रहे होते हैं, और जब हम उन्हें क्लब करते हैं एक certain segment में, they have got their own philosophy of life, और उस philosophy of life के आपको understand करना जरूरी है why they exist. Right? So आपके customer segment की क्या philosophy है? They are there to make fun. They are there to make other people jealous. They are there to really showcase that their achievement or achievement of their parents or their families. You know, so you have to understand. The philosophy is not right or wrong thing. It's just right now when we are working on a business model, आपको अपने customer segment की aspirations understand करनी पड़ती हैं. और जब आप उनको club करते हैं ना, so you will figure out they work or they act or they behave or they react or respond because they think in a certain way. वो जो thought process है ना, that is their fundamental philosophy under which they are living a life. So आपका जो fundamental thought process होता है ना, that's defined, वो regardless आपने philosophy as a subject पढ़ा या नहीं पढ़ा, everybody who's living a life is working under a certain influence और उसके अपने fundamental वैल्यू सेट है, क्योंकि उसने रात को सोना है. आप किसी के साथ ज्यादती कर जाते हैं, किसी के साथ आप बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं, you help somebody. In both cases you have to go back and you have to justify, और वो justification आपके उस वैल्यू सिस्टम से आती है जो आपकी अपनी फंडामेंटल फिलॉसफी होती है, जिसको आप शायद रिकॉग्नाइज भी नहीं कर रहे होंगे एज अ फिलॉसफी, बट whatever we do fundamentally, that's what is the philosophy we are following up. So सबसे पहली चीज, while you are developing a business, you are developing your personal plan for progression, understand the customer, club them together, group them together and try to understand उनकी fundamental philosophy क्या है and what value proposition you are bringing there. अभी सूफीज्म की बात हो रही थी. सूफीज्म का fundamental ये था कि they have identified a certain geographical locations and the culture where people used to live. And when they started working with those people to train them, उनकी तरबियत की साइट पे आए और उनको जो भी जिस भी बैकग्राउंड से जो आ रहा था, तो उस सूफी ने जब उसको राह रास्त पे लाने की कोशिश की, लेट्स यूज दैट टर्म, कि उन्होंने अपने एक जो तालीम थी, जो तरबियत थी, उस साइट पे लेके आना था, तो they haven't started the way कि ये एक standardized way है. They went there, they tried to understand their up their own customer segments, what triggered them, how they influenced them. So उन सारी चीजों की बेसिस पे उन्होंने उनके साथ एक एंगेजमेंट पैटर्न बनाया एंड उनके साथ 4 कदम चले और फिर उनको यू टर्न करके साथ वापस लेके आए. So if you don't understand the thought process or aspirations of your customer, that means then it's very difficult for you to serve them up to the optimum level or even charge them if you are talking about salary or if you are talking about price. So you can't charge them क्योंकि आपने उस thought process को understand नहीं किया. Similarly, अगर आपको उस thought process को further influence करना है, तो then you still have to first understand और फिर आप उसको इन्फ्लुएंस करके चेंज करने की बात अगर हम कर रहे हैं, अगर आपने उसको चेंज करना है तो स्टिल यू नीड टू फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड दैट, बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ इट और एटलीस्ट engage with them in a decent way and then you start making those changes. अभी हमने दूसरी बात की थी विजुअल थिंकिंग की. बहुत दफा जैसे अभी फाद ने भी बात की कि he has got certain fundamental understanding why he exists and what he wants to do in his life, but self डाउट आपका सबसे पहला जो है ना वो आपके लिए जो दुश्मन होता है वो आपका अपना सेल्फ डाउट होता है. अगर आपने अपने फंडामेंटल पे एक हाइपोथेसिस डेवलप कर लिया है कि यू फील यू आर द वन who is going to live a life by contributing back to the society or contributing to the community, your actions, whether people are telling you the same, are their experience, जिन लोगों से आप मिल रहे हैं उनके experiences आप क्या generate करें, do they feel you are contributing or it's only your personal opinion. So वो जब हमने शुरू में भी बात की थी personality alignments की, तो वो एक important element होता है. So उस wishful thinking को जब तक आप किसी एक्शन आइटम्स में चेंज नहीं करेंगे, आप एक डेलिब्रेट एफर्ट नहीं करेंगे, अपने आप को उस लेवल पे ट्रेन नहीं कर लेंगे कि जहां पे आपको even without making an effort you will keep doing that because that you have trained your muscles. So आपके muscles, आपका brain उसी तरीके से सोचेगा. Unless until you get there, you will not be contributing. It would be a wishful thinking, but you haven't taken those actions. So business model canvas help us to capture those actions कि जो आपने अपने कस्टमर सेगमेंट को आइडेंटिफाई किया, उनकी फिलॉसफी को अंडरस्टैंड किया, उसके अराउंड एक वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन डेवलप की, उस वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन को डिलीवर करने के लिए then you create an action plan. So those are the activities, those are the partnerships, those are the resources you deploy, and the net result हमेशा आपके पास एक certain cost होगी और एक certain revenue होगा. So why I picked up that question, because a lot of time when we try to create a business model canvas, we don't try to create it from a customer perspective, we try to create it based on our own philosophy without recognizing it that I'm following a certain hypothesis which is my hypothesis and that is becoming a source or influence for my actions. हमने यहाँ पे जब बात करनी है, अगर आप एम्प्लॉयमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं तो आपने अपने एम्प्लॉयर की वैल्यू सेट को अंडरस्टैंड करना है और नॉट ओनली द एम्प्लॉयर एज एन एंटिटी but the individuals who are holding the position and influencing that culture within the organization, आपने उन individuals के thought process को भी understand करना है and then you have to create an appropriate response to that. Similarly, अगर आप business की बात कर रहे हैं तो आपने customer segment को understand करना है and you have to see कि आपके customer segment की और आपकी philosophy और fundamental value set कितना का line है. ये बिल्कुल ऐसे है if I start working for a boss or a supervisor जिसका value set मेरे से significantly different होगा, we know the end result is a loss. It's a disaster because इतना fundamental difference in the philosophy or hypothesis जो होगा, या तो I have to give up or other person has to give up. We can't get into the compromise stage for a very very long time. हम अपने core से बहुत away नहीं रह सकते. So understanding the thought process and making the right choice, you can't select a customer base जो शायद आपके वैल्यू सेट के साथ मैच नहीं करेगी, राइट. सो आप उस कस्टमर बेस को सर्व ही नहीं कर सकेंगे रिगार्डलेस हाउ प्रॉफिटेबल दैट बिजनेस में लुक लाइक, क्योंकि आपकी फंडामेंटल फिलॉसफी और उनकी फंडामेंटल फिलॉसफी में बहुत मेजर डिफरेंस आ जाएगा. सो यू वुड नॉट लाइक टू गेट एंगेज विद द कस्टमर. अब वो जो एक कॉन्सेप्ट होता था कस्टमर सेंट्रिसिटी का, नाउ इट्स नॉट अ कस्टमर सेंट्रिसिटी, इट्स अ कस्टमर ऑब्सेशन. You should know, and that data enables you, you should know what time your customer wake up, where they eat, who they interact with, कौन से उनके फेवरेट रेस्टोरेंट है, बर्थडे क्या है, छुट्टियां कब करते हैं, छुट्टियों पे वेकेशंस के किस तरह प्लान करते हैं, what they drive, what they prefer to drive and what they drive, स्ट्रेस में कैसे एक्ट करते हैं, विदाउट स्ट्रेस जब हैप्पी होते हैं how they act. So this is what we call the customer obsession, and that is the level of detail which Google is collecting, Facebook is collecting, and going forward you will see, even if you are reading a book or article, जो अब the latest technologies, they can sense that कि are you happy, or आपका जो overall behavior or emotions and how it's evolved. So customer obsession, and your employer is your customer, and your supervisor is your customer, your peers are your customer, and your customer is definitely is your customer, right? So अब आपने उस customer को किस level पे understand करना है, और are you willing to do that? Or again, it could be a wishful thinking, I want to get rich but I don't want to make that effort. So हमेशा जो choices you will be making, there will be consequences, and you may find those consequences later, but there will be certain consequences based on the choices you are making. So आप अपनी destiny के responsible खुद होते हैं based on the choices you are making, और the choices you are not making, जो हम delay कर देते हैं ना decisions, और हम चीजों को clarify नहीं करते, उसको actions में नहीं डालते, उसको operationalize नहीं करते, so we just delay that. इसीलिए आज भी कहते हैं कि सबसे ज्यादा जो जो richest place है वो graveyard है, because जो दुनिया के सबसे खूबसूरत ख्वाब थे वो वहां दफन है, people never acted upon those. So just make sure कि if you have some dreams, make an effort. And again, as a tool, business model canvas can help you to really capture it or structure it on a document. But most importantly, business model canvas can help you to start thinking in a certain direction and integration and the relationship which exists between the different elements or different activities, which can help you to really materialize or operationalize a thought process or a dream or a value proposition which you may come up with, right? So it's a tool, but the tools help you to practice, and the practice create a mindset and habit and skills, and then you keep evolving around it. I think that's the fundamental. When we started with the one small question. Anybody who want to ask, or anybody who want to contribute or add something? Okay, Hassan, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Sir Saji. My question is that we are living in different times, and some people are young, some people are old. But my question is that I often struggle to identify the purpose, because I believe that I don't have enough knowledge about the whole world, or I can only think within my limited knowledge pool. So if I set my purpose right now, after 2 years, I will identify that I know much more now and it will change. And secondly, sometimes I feel like if I have a purpose in life, which is to know about the planets and know about the universe in general and study, and it often contradicts with the fact that should I go for the employment and should I improve myself as a employee resource and achieve the highest place in the organization, or should I work just enough to survive or just enough to live, sufficient resources, and focus myself on to know more about the world? So it often seems like whether I am utilizing myself properly or not. Thank you.
Hassan, were you there when we started with the one video that why you will never succeed in your career? How we create excuses.
Yes, I remember that video.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So now if I go back and I repeat what you are saying, and listen to me, what you were telling me or you were sharing, that there are different ages and the people evolve over the period, right? Factually,
Exactly.
that's correct.
Hmm.
And you will evolve over the period like everybody else. Then you said that, is there appropriate age? That was a question embedded there. Is there appropriate age when I should decide about my purpose? No, because you can decide it at any age and you will evolve. And once you evolve, you will improve. Either you will reject and you create a new one, or you will evolve that purpose at the same time. So yeah, there is nothing which can stop you deciding your purpose now, right? The question, do you have enough knowledge? The answer is that you are not opting for the absolute choices of white and black. You have to make a decision. That's mean there will be never enough knowledge to help you create a risk-free decision as an absolute choice. No, that's not going to happen. Not even at the age of 110. It would be still a decision which you need to make and act upon that and run with it, and then see if it's right or wrong. You will figure it out when you start doing it. So just do it. Figure out that what purpose you inspires you and start doing it. Now the question comes back, you really want to acquire more knowledge around the planet and the universe, how it's integrated, how it's working. And at the same time, you have a fear, and I'm going to use a very you have a fear that you may not be able to earn enough if you choose that. Why it's a mutually exclusive choices?
No, sir, I'm thinking like whether I will be a valuable resource for the world or for the people around me. It's like opting to study the universe and about the world. Is this what I meant to do, or should I be putting myself as a valuable resource to maybe to develop something to contribute in other people's life?
देखिए, अगर आज आप इससे 500 साल पहले की आप बात करते ना, तो acquiring and doing, and I'll again going back to the earning one, and then the other field where you might feel you may not be able to earn enough. So there's a two comparison. What I sense from your question, that I can opt for certain career path which can lead to the head of that organization and pay you well, or you keep doing a
True.
research and then you may not be earn enough. आज से 500 साल पहले आप ये बात करते, 400 साल पहले, इवन 100 साल पहले बात करते ना, अंडरस्टैंडेबल था, because at that time having expertise or working in a multiple discipline were very, very difficult, because just the access to resources, and then you have to travel, and then you have to read, and then you need a teacher who can help you. Not today. You can be a philosopher and the doctor and the accountant and a businessman at the same time. It's just that how you're going to deploy yourself, how much hard work you are going to undertake. You can have some studies which you want to do, and you can still address your fears by developing a skills which have got a higher value in the market. And at some point of time, when you will grow and evolve, you might get a convergence around it. So
That's wonderful.
it's always come down to you. It's always come down to individual. Do you know how you think? It's such a great question. Do I know how I think? Can I challenge my thought process? My thought process is driven through a fear, philosophy, inspired by a role model, or a greed, or I don't know, right? Can I really determine? वो जो एक सवाल होता है ना, जरा सोचिए कि आप कैसे सोचते हैं. ये that's a very interesting question that challenge you as a thought process, that challenge your fundamental philosophy there. So it's interesting one. आपने अपने आप को सामने रख के सबसे पहले अपने लिए एक जज बनना, and you try to be the first judge for yourself rather than you let other people judge you. क्या आप excuses create कर रहे हैं, you are trying to avoid that, और आपके fears हैं? Jump it, just do it. There's nothing else.
That's
Just
great.
do it. Get
I
there,
agree
make
with
a
you.
decision, and do it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you,
Dear
Hassan. And Tamina, you want to add something? You can unmute yourself. You raise your hand again, and Vikas, you have raised your hand. So
Yes, sure. So one thing I want to add here is कि self awareness का path जो होता है, I guess जिस तरह के काफी लोग कह रहे थे कि we don't know कि हम उस पे चल भी रहे हैं कि नहीं चल रहे, तो it is my philosophy कि it requires a certain degree of trauma. Majority of the times जो लोग self awareness के path पे successfully चल पाते हैं, they face some kind of trauma. अब वो हर बंदे का trauma जो है उसकी life के हिसाब से different हो सकता है. हम नहीं as a third person हम judge नहीं कर सकते वो trauma कितना बड़ा था, but depending on that person वो कि बाहर वाले के लिए छोटा भी हो सकता है, लेकिन उस person के लिए वो एक trauma होगा. So to move on to that path, I believe कि आपकी जिंदगी में कोई ना कोई trauma जरूरी है. Maybe that's why हमारी जिंदगियां जो थी, it were not supposed to be perfect. क्योंकि अगर perfect हो जाएंगी तो हम self awareness का path शायद ढूंढ ना पाए.
No, very true, very true. And इसमें ना ACCA इतना ज्यादा बड़ा contributor है, and I'm sure you will agree with me. बहुत दफा जो results आते हैं ना during your journey, वो एक अच्छा खासा trauma होता है. And ACCA help you to go through that journey and understand yourself and really create an appropriate response. कि next time आप exam में बैठ रहे हैं, या you are going to really take more time to console yourself. So I think ACCA never missed that chance, or for that matter, any professional accounting body never missed that chance to train people with their traumas. Agreed? Yes? No? So I think it's most of the time it's not about others and the environment and ecosystem. It's always about you. It's always about that individual and the people you are interacting, how you are influencing them. And what really matters for you? How many people who are worried about the Kashmir issue? How many people who are worried about the change which we are seeing, a political power, political struggle, or a power struggle within the Middle East? How you feel it's going to impact you as an individual, and what you're going to do about it? Or are you aware of? Or do you want to really know about it? Does it bother you? If the again, I'll take that example. If there's a 300-ton food we are wasting every 3 seconds or 30 seconds, and there are 30 people who are dying due to hunger, does it bother you? And we are talking about the world which is very technologically advanced. Does it bother you? Or you can choose to ignore that. There's no right and wrong choice. But if it bothers you, are you going to do something about it? Or at least for the people you can contribute your 2 cents. So there's a lot of stuff which is happening around us. How aware we are around our environment, और उसके मुतालिक हम क्या करना चाहते हैं? Does it bother us? That's a very big question. और फिर ये सवाल वहीं पे आता है, सोचिए आप क्या सोचते हैं और कैसे सोचते हैं? Does Kashmir really bother you? Does it keep you awake at night? What's happening there? Or do you really believe it's a right kind of issue? Is it the issue which the way it's being presented, or it's an issue something which is it's again a power struggle and exploitation of a certain number of people or a community to really do the scorecard or run a scorecard otherwise? Mohammed Arshad raised a question around the empathy, right? So it's very difficult for accountant to have empathy as their primary value. Anybody can tell me why? If you are a trained professional accountant, empathy as a it's very, very difficult to have empathy as your primary value. No, here empathy doesn't drain you, not because that. Skepticism is definitely a one. I think accountants' biggest role is to uphold the trust and stay independent and objective. Empathy does not let you act independently and objectively. Empathy create a certain sides. You will become a little bit compromised when you have to make those opinions or decisions. Fortunately, unfortunately, accountants are trained and educated to have those independent, objective opinions, and that's why they bring the value, and that's the value they bring to the table once there's any decision making going on. They do not exercise empathy while doing the decision making, but definitely in their relationship and their communication when they are interacting. Otherwise, they can demonstrate, but it's very, very difficult where the empathy become a primary value, and it does not create a compromise on independence and the objectivity. So a lot of accountants you will not find very good in terms of communication, presentation, engagement, people person. That's not very normal. People have to really make an effort to do that. Going forward, this is a biggest dilemma accountants need to handle, because they have to reflect and demonstrate empathy and the independence and the objectivity once it's come to the decision making. So you have to zoom in and the zoom out. So that's one of our ability You have to create the critical thinking or independent thinking that need to prevail over the empathies and the relationship. And Usman Hamid is right. Just do it, Taiki. So yeah, so Tevin, staying unbiased is the one because we are trained for that. So that's why most of the time we are unable to reflect the empathy, even in a family matter. And people treat you that you are very practical or you don't even think about the emotions. But unfortunately, you need people like that in the society to keep the balance right, who should not get carried away with the emotions, but they treat and provide you independent, objective advice. We are not talking about right or wrong advice, but independent, objective advice based on the relevance and the information which they carry and the practice and the code which they are following. So all those things are important. Okay, so let's take a 5 minutes break and try to absorb that. And I need a volunteer. I need those bold people who can share their business model canvas and we can build a debate. Otherwise, I'll pick a one person and I'll request that person to pick others. So for uh, really coming up with the business model canvas. So you have 5 minutes. Think about it and let's bring the business model canvas. I would love if somebody has developed that the business model canvas for personal progression in the career as an employee. So अगर किसी ने उस पे काम किया हुआ, that would be great. Otherwise, we can pick up on the anybody who has come up with the idea. There's no right and wrong idea. It's just that this group will help you to have other perspective and think in a other way and at least get some feedback. It will just help you to improve the thought process, or it will just help you to get more feedback. You may choose not to use it, right? So 5 minutes break and we will be back. Any question? And I haven't seen anybody raising hand here either. Anyone sharing? Business model canvas. Okay, so we got Muhammad Arshad and got two people. Just hold. Okay, Hassan and Muhammad Arshad. So, Muhtar, if you can assign Muhammad Arshad the presenter status so he can present.
Yes, Mohammed Arshad, please share your screen. You are the presenter.
All right, can you see my screen too?
Yeah, we can. We can.
Yes.
All right, so this was the business model canvas that I developed in August. This is still to be further refined and discussed. So it's about kind of on the model of Uber and Careem, where the business owners does not own any resources or any assets, but they coordinate among different types of resources and assets. So the basic value proposition is about seamless and memorable once in a lifetime wedding experience through a blend of personalized and professional event planning and management support for the event. The main target market originally was the Pakistani diaspora who is living outside the country in UK and US, who wanted to come back in country for their wedding events, and they don't have right contacts available to arrange things for them. So the key partners include event halls, DJs, caterers, so many long list. And there are some other key partners such as car rentals, saloons, suppliers. Then we also discuss about future extension of the business. It can include travel plans, post or pre-wedding plans, renting options, marriage bureaus, live streaming, even before marriage counseling about relationship management and all that. What kind of customer relationship we'll have? We were thinking to create a kind of joint co-creation of the event itself. I mean, the customer leads the preferences that they want to have in terms of managing their events, what kind of event they want to have. And then, of course, we work in the network. It's mainly network-based business. So we heavily rely on one of the partners who is actually having a very strong network in this community diaspora in US and UK. Of course, we'll try to catch customers through incentivized referral streams, group connections. I mean, graduates from ACCAs and other professional bodies, family registrations, and notables from community coming into the events. And we think the channels that we can use was website, developing a website and using an app where customers can actually plan their own event within their own budget. Messaging just to make people aware that this service is available. Network events, advertisement, and customer review based information. In terms of reaching out, we'll set up a call center and customer care unit who can provide the guidance in terms of services available and take notes from the customers what kind of services they need and how we can customize services for them. Key resources, we need a team to do the spade work, to do the research in terms of resources available in the major cities in the country like Karachi, Islamabad, Faisalabad, and Lahore. What are different wedding halls available? What is their availability? And DJs and other key stakeholders and their network. We need to set up. We look for financing for this. Of course, every business needs finances, business structure, MOU with the partners. We will set up some kind of office space somewhere. Initially, we were thinking of having kind of virtual setup, but I think we need some presence physical also to be in contact with the people on ground. This involves heavy reliance in terms of contractual relationship with your key stakeholders. So we were thinking of having legal advice available because it involves great stakes from different sides, and security and insurance arrangements if something goes wrong and beyond control. Cost structure engaged different types of costs, which include office, staff cost, overheads, retention cost of partners and suppliers, website development and running costs, marketing and business development costs, international desk costs. So we have some kind of international presence also that could have also cost implications. The revenue streams that we were looking for were two kinds: transactional streams and recurring streams. So transactional streams include clients' fees, commission from partners, and commission from suppliers in the events. Recurring stream include ads of supplier at the venue of the event, wedding blogs, partners contacts retention actually, family registration fee, and bride and groom registration fee kind of things. So that was actually kind of second cut of the business model that we developed, and we're still working on it, not still matured enough to go through it. So over to you for your comments and suggestions, please. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, Ashwin, we can hear you.
Okay, so I finished my talk. So I wanted to have your input further into. I know the group has already given some input into it and further.
Actually, a quick one on that. It's a platform business, right?
It's a platform business, that's right.
Right. So have you gone through that ACC ki bada acha research paper hai, business model of the future?
Not yet. Maybe that's a good reference for me to go through.
Yeah, please do that क्योंकि आपका business model ना exactly उसमें 3-4 components हैं how the business model of the future will look like, जिसमें again crowd contribution, people are doing it by themselves. It's a very frugal model, very customized. Like लाहौर के एक certain area में जब काम हो रहा होगा तो वहाँ के लोग उसको, for example DHA के लोग जो DHA के vendor and लोग इसको differently देख रहे होंगे versus लाहौर में शायद जो लोग अंदरूनी शहर रहते हैं उनकी स्पेस की कंस्ट्रेंट से लेके और उनका फेस्टिविटी का कॉन्सेप्ट वर्सेस जो DHA में रहते हैं या लाहौर के डिफरेंट पार्ट में रहते हैं, तो डिफरेंट कस्टमर सेगमेंट्स का काफी हद तक वो बड़ा कस्टमाइज, हाइपर कस्टमाइज जिसको हम कहते हैं, हाइपर लोकलाइज्ड किस्म के एक्सपीरियंसेस होंगे. तो आपका बिजनेस मॉडल जो है ना इज वेरी मच अलाइंड विद दैट. सो डू गो थ्रू दैट. उसके बहुत से कंपोनेंट आपके बिजनेस मॉडल में जो है वो रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहे हैं. Anybody else has got any feedback for Arshad? Okay, thank you Arshad, thank you for sharing and keep it up and go through that. And I'm sure ये आपका बहुत बड़ा नेटवर्क है और अब recently SCCP ने crowd funding भी शुरू कर दी है. So if you need money you can use SCCP का जो latest sandbox है उसके through up small level पे you can also raise money crowdfunding के through.
Okay, good to know.
Future value by adding some backup plan. Backup plan definitely उसमें हो सकते हैं, but most of the time great आप COVID की example दे रहे हैं, so I think something to consider Arshad. What would be the backup plan if similar situation come across again, can you create an online event? There are a lot of people who are working towards this kind of product where you can create an experience in an online event. So whether we are talking about avatars and we are talking about the 3D side of it, or we are talking about the virtual reality side of it. So I think there are a lot of new platforms who are working in that, where you can have that experience virtually. So you create a space and people can create their character, and those characters can move around and they can talk, they can go to different rooms. So I think this is the kind of thing which is happening now. COVID has triggered that in a different way. So that could be a good backup plan. Online
All right.
shadi. Okay, thank you, Arshad. Thank you. And we have got we got two people there, right? Anybody else who want to share? I saw that there's another person who want to share that. Hassan. Okay.
Hassan Soleh.
Gigi, please, if you can convert him into a presenter as well.
थैंक यू मुतहिद आई वुड लाइक टू मेक अ रिक्वेस्ट आप प्लीज देखिएगा मेरे दो नाम आ रहे हैं तो आप काइंडली मुझे दोनों पे कर दें बिकॉज एक पे स्क्रीन विजिबल है और एक पे ऑडियो है
ओके कैन यू रेज योर हैंड सो मुझे पता चल जाए कि कहाँ से आप प्रेजेंट करना चाह रहे हैं वहां से आप काइंडली अपना हैंड रेज कीजिए
ऑलराइट
लेट मी प्रेजेंट okay now you can share your screen you are presented
yes thank you मुतहिद Alright, so Sir Sajid, basically it's not related to business, it's related to career और डेफिनेटली जो भी आपने आज हमें गाइड किया और लर्निंग हुई है मैं ज़रूर उसको इसके अंदर इंकॉर्पोरेट करके एक अच्छा जो है इसको पूरा प्रॉपर मॉडल बनाऊंगा सो अभी जो है वो सिर्फ एक आउटलाइन टाइप है तो मैं आपसे सिर्फ वही शेयर कर देता हूँ और काइंडली आप अपनी वेरीफाइड फीडबैक ज़रूर शेयर करिएगा सो बेसिकली मैं जो हूँ वो ऑडिट की फील्ड से हूँ मैंने जो है वो 3 इयर्स का ऑडिट एक्सटर्नल ऑडिट में एक्सपीरियंस है और एट द मोमेंट मेरा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ख़त्म हो चुका है और मैं दोबारा जो है वो नई अपॉर्चुनिटी देख रहा हूँ और मेरी प्रायोरिटी तो यही है कि मैं ऑडिट में जाऊँ बट करेंटली जो है वो एज यू नो कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट मार्केट जो है वो काफ़ी अफेक्टेड है कोविड की वजह से सो उसमें ये भी है कि आप जो है जो अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी हो उसके अलावा आप वो भी अचीव कर सकें बट मॉडल जो है वो प्राइमरी अराउंड ऑडिट में है सो जो वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन है वो बेसिकली ये है कि टू हेल्प एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन टू परफॉर्म एफिशिएंट एंड इफेक्टिव ऑडिट्स और विद अप टू डेट स्किल्स एंड यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी सो जो मैंने की सेगमेंट्स आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं वो ऑडिट फर्म ऑडिट क्लाइंट्स जो इमीडिएट सुपरवाइजर मैनेजर और जो पीयर्स हैं और रिलेशनशिप उनसे ऐसे मेंटेन किया जाएगा कि उनको जो है फर्म में क्योंकि काम करना होगा तो उसमें सेल्फ सर्विस होगी और मेंटेनिंग प्रोफेशनलिशिप विद क्लाइंट्स चैनल्स में भी ऑफिस में ही रह के काम करना है और टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म्स यूज़ करने हैं जो की एक्टिविटीज़ हैं उसमें कंप्लीटिंग वर्क विद इन टाइम क्विक रिस्पॉन्स टू ईमेल्स ताकि आप जो है वो बहुत रिस्पॉन्सिव रहें अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्लाइंट नीड्स कि क्लाइंट की जो है रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है किस टाइम वो चाहता है कि आपसे इंगेज हो किस टाइम वो अपने बाकी काम कर रहा होता है और जो की पार्टनर्स हैं इसके अंदर वो डेफिनेटली आपके मैनेजर्स होंगे जिनके साथ आपने काम करना है और आपकी जो ऑडिट टीम है जिनके साथ आपने मिलकर एक जो असाइनमेंट है उसे कंप्लीट करना है की रिसोर्सेज जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट रिसोर्स होता है वो टाइम होता है जो सबसे ज़्यादा इन्वेस्ट होता है इसके अंदर और उसके बाद दूसरा होता है कि आप अपने आप को अप टू डेट रखें जो स्टैंडर्ड्स के अंदर चेंजेस आ रही हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर तो डेफिनेटली आप जो है एज एन एम्प्लॉई आप जो है सबसे जो मेन आपका रिसोर्स यूटिलाइज होता है वो टाइम ही होता है और जो रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम होती है वो आपकी सैलरी होती है और आप अगर अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं तो आपको जो है उसमें डेफिनेटली प्रमोशन के चांसेस मिलते हैं तो it's just an outline, it's not very detailed, but thank you very much.
you, Hassan. My first question, why you say कि आपकी field audit है?
Right.
Is it
So
because you
what
love it, or is it something which you have decided, or is it something you are you you are made to believe?
राइट सर, बिल्कुल मैंने इस पे बहुत सोचा, जो हमारे पहले लेक्चर्स हुए थे इस पे, उसकी बेसिस पे भी मैंने सोचा इसका। तो डेफिनेटली देयर इज एन एलिमेंट के आई एंजॉय ऑडिट फील्ड। ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं बाकी फील्ड्स को नहीं एंजॉय करता, लेकिन क्योंकि मैंने काम ही अभी तक इसमें किया है और मुझे आइडिया हुआ है कि इसके अंदर आपको लर्निंग के लिए बहुत कुछ मिलता है। तो और एक आपके पास थोड़ा सा एक्सपीरियंस भी हो जाए और आपको उसमें थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्ट भी हो, तो आप जो है वो आपके लिए, जो जैसे अभी करंटली मैं एम्प्लॉयमेंट के उसमें हूँ, तो उसमें आपको एक हेल्प हो जाती है कि आपका इंटरेस्ट है और आपकी लर्निंग है, तो आपको डेफिनेटली इसमें पुश मिलता है।
Okay. मैंने कल परसों आपके साथ, बल्कि अभी भी यहाँ पे हैंडआउट में होगा, देयर इज अ फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क एक शेयर किया था, हेड काउंट टू स्किल काउंट, राइट?
यस सर।
So if
मैंने
you try to, because I would like to give you some challenge questions there. So एक
प्लीज।
question हमारा ये होगा, अगर आप audit को as a skill define करें, what does it mean for you? So audit as a skill, where it leads, और क्या skill develop होता है audit as a process जब आप undertake करते हैं, या as a function आप, so what skill set you are developing, and where else you can use that skill set, what else you can
राइट
do
सर।
with that skill set, right? So these are two questions.
ओके।
So
राइट सर, आई हैव टू आंसर इट राइट नाउ सर।
ideally, yes, if you can give a certain view, or anybody else want to share something, what skills or skill set you develop during the audit assignments, and what else you can do with that skill set.
राइट सर, तो जैसे जो आपने रिपोर्ट शेयर की थी उसके अंदर बहुत उन्होंने क्लियरली मेंशन किया हुआ था कि अब जो है वो हेड काउंट के बजाय स्किल काउंट की तरफ जा रहे हैं, और ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो हैं वो रादर देन के फुल टाइम एम्प्लॉयज हायर करें, वो देखेंगे कि जो वो बंदा वो काम कर सकता है उससे वो काम लें एंड देन मूव ऑन। राइट, तो उसके अंदर जो उन्होंने कुछ एक्टिविटीज मेंशन की हुई थी जो फेजिंग आउट है, उसमें डेफिनेटली एक एक्टिविटी अकाउंटिंग भी थी और ऑडिट भी थी। लेकिन उन्होंने जो इसके अंदर एक चीज और मेंशन की हुई थी फ्यूचर में, वो था कि स्किल ऑडिट, कि क्या जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पास स्किल्स हैं क्या वो उसको हेल्प आउट करेंगे अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव करने में। सो जो आप ऑडिट कर रहे होते हैं, आप एक डेफिनेटली एक सर्टेन पैरामीटर डिफाइंड होता है, जैसे आपने इसको देखना है कि क्या एफआरएस फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स के साथ जो है कंप्लाई करती हैं कि नहीं करती। लेकिन जो जो बैक एंड पे जो कोर प्रोसीजर होता है वो यही होता है कि आपने एक गिवन सिचुएशन को एक सेट क्राइटेरिया के अगेंस्ट मेजर करना होता है। सो अगर आपका सेट क्राइटेरिया चेंज हो जाए, आपको उस क्राइटेरिया के बारे में नॉलेज होनी चाहिए, और आप फिर किसी भी जो भी उसके लिए जो इसका सब्जेक्ट मैटर है उसको असेस कर सकते हैं उस सब्जेक्ट क्राइटेरिया के अगेंस्ट। तो ट्रांसफरेबल स्किल्स बिल्कुल हो सकती हैं इसके अंदर भी।
Yep. And what else you can do with that skills? अगर मैं skills को let's summarize it. आपके skill में एक risk assessment है, right? That's a one skill you do.
यस सर, रिपोर्ट राइटिंग।
Exercise, then report writing आपका एक बहुत बड़ा skill है,
यस सर, और
right?
आप यूं कहना चाहिए, यस, इसमें
Collecting
लीडरशिप स्किल्स भी है,
information gathering, structuring,
डाटा एनालिटिक्स इसके अंदर जरूर आता है,
analytics है पूरा का पूरा, yeah,
और लीडरशिप
right?
भी होती है क्योंकि आप टीम के साथ काम करते हैं तो आपके उसमें सीखने को भी मिलता है और आपको एज अ लीडर भी काम करना होता है। तो
Leadership
प्रेशर
है,
हैंडलिंग,
communication है, personal effectiveness है,
टाइम मैनेजमेंट।
stakeholder management है, क्योंकि आपका client भी है, team भी है, client में भी different लोग हैं, right?
वेरी ट्रू।
So skepticism, definitely, that's what lead the risk assessment. Uh,
राइट सर।
and now let's look at that. What is the most important area for a business?
इन टर्म्स ऑफ, सॉरी सर,
किसी भी business के लिए सबसे important area क्या होता है?
उसकी बॉटम लाइन
Let's
होती
say
है जो
it's
प्रॉफिट।
bottom line, that's sales, right? Sales is
राइट।
the source for that bottom line, the quality of sales and the quantity of sales, volumes and the value both
यस
count out, right?
जी।
Now, if I ask you कि आपने अपना इस skill set को as a salesperson use करना है, so what you gonna do? You have to become a salesperson.
बिल्कुल ठीक। राइट से जैसे हमने भी स्किल्स की बात की, अगर हम उसमें डेटा एनालिटिक्स की अगर एग्जांपल लेके चलें, तो आप जो है डेटा एनालिटिक्स को यूज़ करते हुए डिसीजन मेकिंग को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं, विच मीन्स कि आप जो है ऐसी प्रोडक्ट्स पे फोकस अपना ज़्यादा रिसोर्सेज उस पर लगाएं जो कि आपको पता है कि जिसकी रिक्वायरमेंट ज़्यादा है, और ऐसी प्रोडक्ट्स जो आपकी सेल आउट नहीं हो रही तो आप उनको वापस पुश बैक कर सकते हैं, उनको ख़त्म भी कर सकते हैं, ताकि आपके जो है एफिशिएंट रिसोर्सेज रहें और आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा टर्नओवर जनरेट होके मिलता रहे उससे।
आपकी जो रेपुटेशन while you were working in your previous contract, so आपकी जो रेपुटेशन और फीडबैक जो आपको मिलती थी अपने मुतालिक as an individual, as a person, if you are willing to share or if you have ever collected that, what is your impression, what people think about you?
राइट सर, सो फीडबैक बहुत अच्छी थी, हमेशा सुपरवाइजर से बहुत अच्छी वो मिली थी। और जो मेरा जो हमेशा वो कि ये था कि आपको भी मालूम होगा ऑडिट फर्म्स के अंदर लेट सिटिंग्स बहुत होती हैं। सो मैं आई थिंक कि शायद वाहिद ही बंदा था अपनी पूरी फर्म में जो कि बहुत स्ट्रिक्टली टाइमिंग्स को फॉलो करता था, और सिर्फ टाइमिंग को फॉलो नहीं करता था बल्कि अपना काम हमेशा वेल विद इन टाइम, इतना विद इन टाइम करके डिलीवर कर दिया करता था कि मुझे सुपरवाइजर ये कहते थे कि अब आप दूसरे को असिस्ट करें। सो दिस वाज द जनरल परसेप्शन।
That's about your work. What about yourself? The kind of personality, how you engage with other.
राइट, डेफिनेटली ऑडिट की फील्ड में जब काम किया तो उसमें जो एक चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा हाईलाइटेड रहती थी हर वक्त, वो आपकी इंटेग्रिटी होती थी और आपको प्रोफेशनलिज्म होता था। तो उसने इस पूरी जर्नी ने मुझे, जो मैं खुद असेस करता हूँ उसके अंदर ये असेस करता हूँ कि उसने मुझे बहुत अच्छी तरीके से घूम करके एक अच्छा प्रोफेशनल और एक इंटेग्रिटी और ऑनेस्टी के साथ काम करने के लिए इक्विप किया।
Okay. How people think about you? You are the one who help and add value where you interact, or you are the one who help people to really see where they are not doing the things right or where there could be a risk. So they identify you as a person who look at something and find out where the risks are, or it's a person who can look at something, identify a risk, and then can provide a solution to it. If I
राइट
ask people who have worked with you, where they will categorize you, somebody who is a critic or somebody who is there to add value.
राइट सर, ऑन वन हैंड दे विल से कि हसन को जो भी टास्क असाइन की जाए तो रेस्ट अश्योर्ड कि वो कंप्लीट होगी और क्वालिटी में कंप्लीट होगी। ऐसा नहीं होगा कि उसमें कॉर्नर्स कट किए हुए होंगे और वो नहीं होगी, तो ट्रस्ट कर सकते हैं मेरे ऊपर। बट सेकेंडली
Okay.
वो आपसे वो डेफिनेटली वो आपसे ये कहेंगे कि हसन जो है वो थोड़ा सोशलाइज नहीं करता। फॉर एग्जांपल अगर एक जनरल ड्यूरेशन देखा जाए तो उसमें ये होता था कि अगर हम सुबह 9-10 बजे काम शुरू करते हैं तो 11 बजे टी ब्रेक हो जाती है, तो मैं टी ब्रेक में नहीं जाता था बल्कि मैं अपना काम ही करता था। इसी तरह दोपहर को 1 घंटे की लंच ब्रेक के बाद 3 बजे फिर टी ब्रेक हो जाती थी, तो मैं फिर टी ब्रेक में नहीं जाता था, मैं काम ही कर रहा होता था। तो वो आपसे कहेंगे कि हाँ सोशल नहीं होता था, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ आपसे कहेंगे कि हाँ जो वर्क असाइन होगा वो कंप्लीट होगा और क्वालिटी में कंप्लीट होगा।
And do you think you suffered because not being social, or do you think it added value to complete your work while you are sacrificing that social interaction?
नो सर, मैंने सफ़र नहीं किया बिल्कुल भी, क्योंकि मैंने सोशलाइज ज़रूर किया लेकिन जो उसका राइट टाइम था उस टाइम पे किया। जस्ट मैंने ये किया कि जो विद इन टाइम और जो आपकी ऑफिस टाइमिंग है और जो आपकी वर्क की टाइमिंग है उसके अंदर नहीं किया। डेफिनेटली वो समटाइम्स कुछ लोग जो होते हैं उस अपॉर्चुनिटी को यूज़ करते हैं सोशलाइज करने के लिए। मैंने उसको नहीं यूज़ किया, लेकिन मैं ऐसा भी नहीं किया कि मैंने सोशलाइज नहीं किया, लेकिन डेफिनेटली उनको एक थोड़ा सा ये फील होता था कि हसन जो है वो लाइक हमारे साथ चाय पीने नहीं आ रहा है, इस तरह।
आपका लिंक्डइन का नेटवर्क कितना बड़ा है?
लिंक्डइन से ऑफ कोर्स अभी ACCS जिस प्रोग्राम के साथ ही मैंने उसको ज़्यादा यूज़ करना स्टार्ट किया, तो करंटली अबाउट 30-35 इसके अंदर लोग हैं।
Anybody in the group who has got more than 35 people on their LinkedIn? Quote a number. You can write a number in your question one. 238, 30,000. Great.
30,000.
500 plus 450, more than 200, 1,000, 600, 110, 30,000. Yeah, it's confirmed 30,000, 197, 300 plus, 3,241, 250 plus, 500 plus. Does it give you anything? Any reference point, Hassan? 1,800 plus, 4,100 plus.
I think sir कुछ लोगों के लिए बहुत helpful होगा, like someone had mentioned 30,000 plus, तो I believe कि उनको value भी मिल रही होगी 30,000 plus members से connect होगी.
We leave the outlier there, 30,000 or 4,000. I think those are the great strengths, and 1,800 plus. Anything 1,000 plus is a very big strength. So does it give you any reference point when you're talking about 30 people?
Yes.
And you say you are okay with socializing and everything?
Yes, sir. I think sir generally एक pressure है लोगों के ऊपर. I felt कि एक जनरल प्रेशर है कि आपने जो है वो बहुत लोगों से ज़्यादा कनेक्ट होना है. But एक सिर्फ I think you should appreciate that कि लोग जो हैं वो different नेचर के होते हैं. कुछ ज़्यादा एक्सट्रोवर्ट्स होते हैं, कुछ इंट्रोवर्ट्स होते हैं.
जी बिल्कुल.
और तो इंट्रोवर्ट्स के जो होता है वो एक डिफरेंट अप्रोच होती है लोगों से सोशलाइज होने की, और एक्सट्रोवर्ट्स की थोड़ी डिफरेंट अप्रोच होती है. So in my case, I'm a little bit introvert, तो मेरी approach थोड़ी सी different है in that case.
No, that's right. As long as you are aware of that what exists out there, right? And you can really compare where you stand and the choices you have made, and then those choices will have a certain bearing going forward as well, right? So do understand that, and you might choose to change your path and to change the way you are if you feel a value on the other side, or at least you can test that one. So there's no right and wrong thing. It's just that as long as you are aware of where you stand versus where other people are and why they are where they are and what the value they are getting and what you are missing. We don't learn from books and YouTubes. We learn most of the time from interaction, because human being as a individual, like इंसान जो है वो सबसे interesting subject है for study, and जिन लोगों से आप मिलते हैं, they help you to shape your opinion and experiences as well, and you help them to shape their experiences and opinions. And that's how we really build the journal pessimism or optimism, and we contribute, we work together, we refer each other somewhere, right? So all these things matter. But it's a good, the best thing so far is that you have got a very clear understanding what you are doing, why you are doing it, and what else you can do, and where you stand in terms of the ecosystem. So I think that's great. So that clarity, I'm sure that would be very, very helpful. And it's definitely not the number of the people you know, it's the quality interaction you are going to have. But keep in mind, the more people you interact, you can influence more mind yourself as well. If you want to contribute people to understand how the independence and objectivity, and you want to pass on that skill, or at least you want people to practice that integrity and professionalism, then you need to really interact with them. If they see you doing it, but they don't see you interacting with them, so आपने वो गलत और सही का फैसला आज ही कर लिया है, so they will not be able to get along with you and learn and come back, and you can't get along with them either and learn from them as well. So keep that in mind. But I think आपका overall business plan, आपका canvas, that's great. Improve that, but don't create a restrictive one. Audit is the only one. Audit is a one way. Audit help you to build that skill set, and if you really want to create a value out of that skill set, so शायद उसका जो deployment है एक statutory या internal audit से ज्यादा उसकी deployment और बहुत से areas में है. Trust is a one thing which is scarce. Information पे reliability बहुत ज्यादा challenge बनता जा रहा है in the current world. So you are the one who can create that kind of visibility. You can also create that kind of opinions, advices. So they are broader application of the same skill you have acquired. So do think about it and put a value where, and go for something which has got a maximum value. And there's world way beyond the regular statutory financial statement audits. These are going to be replaced with the blockchains and stuff. So somebody has to really create that mechanism where these transactions are recorded automatically in an environment where the integrity is very high.
Exactly. So therefore, I would like to say that this is what this program, so this program has taught me कि आपके पास आगे future में क्या होने वाला है. So I'm very well aware, जैसे आपने share किया blockchain का और इन चीज़ों का. So I'm aware of it और मैं definitely उसको incorporate भी करूँगा इसके अंदर. So thank you so much. Very valuable feedback.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else who want to share? कोई बहादुर इंसान जो अपना सोच को publicly share करना चाहे and okay with other people to criticize it, which we normally call feedback. कोई बहादुर इंसान इस ग्रुप में who want to share? Guys, that's quite disappointment. हमारे पास बहुत कम लोग हैं जो इतने जिनकी जरूरत इतनी है कि वो अपनी सोच को शेयर कर सकें और उस पर फीडबैक ले सकें. I'm sure everybody has got some ideas, everybody has got some value proposition, something which they want to do in their life. Okay, so we got Adnan. Muhammad Adnan. Muthaid, if you can, yeah, thank you, Muthaid. If you can make
so
Adnan
thank you
present.
so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for unmuting me. Just to let you know that I want to share it, but right now I'm driving, so I'm not in the process of sharing my screen. But yeah, I would definitely and would love to answer your questions related to what you were saying regarding the business model canvas. It's related to the career progression. I want to explain it, what I have created in my mind as well as what I have documented in my business model canvas. But
That's
really,
fine.
I'm not in a.
अगर आपने WhatsApp पे भी share किया हुआ, we can ask somebody else to present it, and you can just explain the broader idea.
No. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not. I wouldn't share it on WhatsApp as well. I have kept it to share it on the screen and present you guys to criticize it. But yeah, I'm still traveling and driving. So, but yeah, ऐसा नहीं है sir कि there's no one के जो इतना bold enough ना हो. But yeah, I would definitely love and would love to hear from you guys as a criticized point. What is that I can improve and we will improve. So definitely, I'll do it. But if you can, yeah, sure.
अगर आप ड्राइविंग कर रहे हैं तो प्लीज आप बेशक ना शेयर करें बिकॉज आपकी कंसंट्रेशन जो है डाइवर्ट होगी.
Yeah.
That's fine, but I think we have got 50 plus people there. So अदनान तो अपनी जिंदगी और दूसरों की जिंदगी दाव पे लगा के हमसे बात कर रहे हैं इस वक्त, but I'm sure there are people who are attending it either from office or home. Or shall I pick a one name and then I let the person pick up others? So if we can request Azhar Bilal Shah. Azhar Bilal Shah. Azhar, you can unmute yourself. Azhar Bilal Shah. Azhar, you have a liberty to pick. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Azhar, you have a liberty to pick any name which you believe should be presenting.
Yes, walaikum salam. Just heard you call my name. Be outside a little. Oh, okay. We can hear from Malik Shehbaz Saab. Might have.
Okay, मलिक शहबाज साहब, कुरा मलिक शहबाज साहब के नाम का निकला.
Hello.
Do we have Malik Shehbaz? Let me check. Yeah, Malik Shehbaz Hussain.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम सलाम. तो आपके नाम का कुरा निकला है. अजहर बिलाल ने आपका नाम लिया है कि you should be presenting and he want to see what you are thinking and how you have developed a business model canvas.
I've got no problem with it. Like, I have got a business model we already discussed previously, and I had your kind input in there, which I have tweaked. So I can share the same business model if you want.
Okay. Let's go with that. One of the team member wanted to share that. Why not? Let's keep it brief and we can pick it up there. Anybody else you want to pick up on, Azhar? After Shehbaz?
So, Azhar, sorry, I'm just waiting for Azhar's response before I start.
Okay, I think you can start and we will wait if Azhar comes back.
Right. So what I'm thinking of, what my plan is at the moment, or I'm in the process of finalizing it. Like, I'm trying to, can you see my screen?
It's coming now, yeah.
So what my plan is to set up a back office support service,
Accounting.
like their accounting service, and I'm during this time between August and now, I have been having discussion with my friends or my targeted customers. So they're more interested in having a full package rather than the accounting service. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to provide my value proposition is changing, but at the moment where I stand is provide end-to-end accounting and back office support solution through quality service so that the client can focus on the core element. And last time आपने बड़ा अच्छा input दिया था, what I was focusing, I'm gonna offer them the competitive prices. But now I am moving to the pain and gain mechanism. So if I'm saving you money, so I get the slice of the cake. And if I can add more value, I get a bigger slice of your cake. At the same time, if I cannot add the value, and if the quality of service drops, I will bear the penalty. So this, I've got the skin in the game. So that's what I'm working on.
No, I think that's a great model.
Because I'm giving some confidence to the customers being away from their site so that they are reluctant. So you will take your money and you will go away. So what I'm doing, I'm saying, no, I am your partner, business partner, coming as a business partner rather than your case of a service provider. Key partners, at the moment, I have got my business partners who are already there, family-owned businesses. I've got the marketing agents. I'm dealing with few people, both in Qatar and UK. IT, software and support vendors. I am having very good conversation with friend of mine in Pakistan. I was looking for these services abroad, but luckily one of my friend is in the market, so I will be getting the licensing. So I will be selling the licenses as well, in addition to providing the support. So that is added advantage. So looking for data and analytics partnership. Subcontractors will be the key partners as well, who will be dealing the HR, IT, call center, data analytics, business designers. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. Key activities are the accounting services, back office support, tech solutions, IT, HR, management, tech business consultancy. So key risk advisory and they're taking the transaction advisory, business modeling, and corporate end-to-end solution, to be honest. So making sure like our partners can focus on the operations and we deal with all the back office. What we are planning to do, how we will build our customer relationship, like getting the business is purely networking to start with at the moment. I'm in touch with the agents. I'm trying to finalize a deal with them. These agents have got the business, so it's just case of where I can land. It's working out with them. Then we have got the marketing. I will be starting advertising in the local newspaper, the areas I want to target. So I have got my account set up in both in UK and Qatar. So that's where and again, it's the use of the social media to get the clients. And it's a targeted, finding the target market, target customers and advertising. Retaining customers, I will only retain them if I provide them the quality service, and it's a customer service and communication, making sure I understand what they want and providing them what they want. And to grow the customer.
Shebas, sorry, because we have gone through that last time as well. I'll just want to pick up on one thing, the
Right,
marketing side, right? So you are talking about advertising, you are talking about social media. Who will be doing it for you? Or you will be doing it yourself?
It is my agents. They are already doing it. Like they have got the list of the, for example, they have got the list of the firms who are regularly outsourcing the work.
Okay.
In the UK. So I will be advertising to them. I will be offering the free, like a period, like
my only question is
period.
that who is working on your marketing strategy or campaign and all that design? You are doing it yourself or you have got somebody else?
At the moment, I am speaking to the people. So it's a group of people, like some of my friends who are solicitors, they're in UK, they are working on that basis. Some of my friends who run the accountancy firm and they are advertising in their own networks. But at the same time, I will be having what you call an agent who will be based over there, and I will be paying that person who will be visiting the clients with our proposal.
But that's what we call it's all the trade marketing. You are trying to incentivize somebody to acquire the customer, right? The other thing is that building a brand, creating a pull, bring your content marketing, making sure people understand the kind of services you can and you are doing, testimonial from the other customer, converting them into the artwork, sharing it with somebody else. I think when you look at the marketing side, particularly from acquisition to retention, in a both side there is a complete marketing element, right? Where you need, most of the time, you need a professional marketeer to do that. There's a sales side of it. Definitely, you can incentivize people and you can create a commission structure where the people can follow on with or refer people to you and get commission out of it, and you do your closing by your sales closing by yourself. Uh, but my question is that, are you creating a team where you have a salesperson, marketeer, accounting, like the delivery team who has got the right kind of expertise to deliver whatever the services you are selling, the salesperson who can really close the deal, who has a capacity to really start from a lead generation to qualifying the lead and then getting to a contract closure, then the marketeer who can help you to really create the brand and create all that, the artworks, even for that matter, or a branding philosophy around it. You're selling your story, telling your story, creating that network. So like you want people to hire a professional support for accounting side of it or a back office, are you yourself hiring a professional who can help you to do the other side of the work, or you believe you will do it yourself?
No, I have got some things in the pipelines where I haven't hired anyone, but what I am working on the partnership basis, So the other person who gets in or gets the business, so they will retain the front office and I will retain the back office in there. Initial my task is like in the 3 to 6 months period, setting up the back office support, and then I will be going there myself. What I'm struggling initially, like there are a couple of stages in between, like where I can hire a full-time, what you call a marketing person. The stage is, the challenge I'm seeing is the people want to see what actually we are delivering, and it's just the confidence of the customers, and that's what I'm being challenged most of the time. Wherever I'm going, I'm being challenged. So what you have done so far. So it is just
Previous references.
Sorry?
Previous references, the work
Previous
reference.
references. So I am very close to signing case of a couple of deals. And once I have got those in place, and time will tell. I have seen this happening. Like it is just if you get your foot in a company, especially
then you
a big company, and then so many doors opens for you. So it is just striking that initial like a blow. And once I've got that couple, because what I'm doing initially, I'm targeting few customers where I want to work with, who I want to work with. So if I can get my foot in the door, I will definitely get more business over there.
Great. No, thank you, Shabazz. Thank you for sharing. Do you want to nominate somebody else? Anybody has any question for Shabazz? You have gone through that 1 or 2 times since August. Anything you want to give or provide a feedback? Any question you have which can help you to understand the business model better? Okay, I can't see a question there. Shehbaz, do you want to pick up on somebody else you feel that should be presenting based on your previous interaction, your teamwork and everything? You want somebody else to present their business model?
So 2 people I had in my mind, they have already spoken.
Somebody who haven't presented yet.
I will pick random name in there. Muhammad Adnan Salah.
Adnan just talked about that. He's driving right now. He can't.
Apologies. Ibrahim Tariq.
Okay. Ibrahim Tariq. Ibrahim Tariq. Ibrahim Tariq. Ibrahim Tariq is not attentive right now. We can see that on the screen. I'm not sure if you can. That who is attentive and who's not. Anyone else?
Mudassir Abbas Kazmi.
Okay. Mudassir. Mudassir, you can unmute yourself. Are you willing to share, Mudassir? Mudassir Abbas Kazmi. मैं ख्याल है हमें खवातीन में से किसी को पिक करना पड़ेगा. We need brave people here, so I can't see that coming there. Can we go with Sumayya Fatma? Sumayya Fatma. You can unmute yourself. Are you willing to share, Sumayya? I think all the trophies either way go to Islamabad. Furqan Farooq, Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Vale.
So actually, I just prepared it because things were not in my mind, and there are there are lots of confusions, and everything, but nothing is sorted out right now. So it's just an idea which is partially executed. So that's why I was not raising hand. But when no one was there, so I decided to do that. So can I share my screen now?
Sure, please, please.
Can you people see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yes. So actually, the business we wanted to start was to export fruits and vegetables from Pakistan to Oman. Actually, my father was in Oman for around 35 years, so he has got some reputation there. So actually, and even we started it as well for some time, but somehow it didn't went I mean well. So but still it's in my mind, and I want to start that. And if we talk about the value proposition, so um, first let's talk about the customer segment. The customer segment I want to target, my main target will be the companies or the manufacturing concerns who are involved in manufacturing of confectionery items. Like potato is my will be my starting point for companies who are manufacturing chips, etc. So I'll export. I mean, our plan is to export the potatoes, start from potatoes and vegetables, and then add, many things to it. So the value proposition, what will my value proposition will be the quality stuff, because Pakistani, especially potatoes, are have a good reputation in Oman and Gulf countries. So starting from there, and hassle-free supply of vegetable and fruits. So I mean, there will be a one-window solution. They can just order it, and we can deliver it straight away. No agents and all this stuff. They don't have to go through all this stuff. So that's my value proposition. And key activities I just told you, and customer segments I also mentioned that. The struggling thing, even we exported some containers to Oman as well, but the still we haven't able to identify the value suppliers actually. The first supplier we dealt with, first shipment went really well, but on the second shipment he ran away with some payments. You will have to make some advance payments to them. So he just ran away with it. And my father actually started it. So he was telling this. I was also involved in it. So and on the other hand, in Oman, my the person who was selling it to the other person, to the other customers, then holded money for, you can say, 3 or 4 months, that I was in trouble, so I used your money, etc., etc. So the main problem I'm seeing is the trustworthy people, and some, you can say, some controls. I mean, I'm finding it really difficult to control things from here. If I try to control things from here, so who will look after the Oman side, matlab the export side? And if I'll go there, so who will look after the supply side? So that's my main concern, and we did some material losses initially. So that plan got stuck there, but I want to continue it, and with some controls and all this. So that's my idea, just an idea. So yeah, uh, that's all. If you have any suggestions for this and solution to my problems, maybe.
Uh, I think you have got a got a one resource which you were talking about, the trustworthy employees. Uh, I think the trustworthy employees definitely is the biggest resource you should be looking at. If you are willing to pay salaries at a decent salary or create an incentive structure, that will ultimately drives the behavior. So अगर आप उनको कहेंगे कि आप लेट्स से एक फिक्स अमाउंट ले लें और उसमें उनके लिए कोई इंसेंटिव नहीं है ओवर परफॉर्मेंस का, सो वहां पे समटाइम चैलेंज आ जाता है, पर्टिकुलरली सेल्स एंड प्रोक्योरमेंट दोनों साइड पे. So if you can create a certain uh, compensation structure which can drive and help person to to really look into the matter the way you want to look at, so that it will work. So आपको एक एंड किसी ना किसी पे rely करना पड़ेगा. You have to create that resource base which you can rely, and at the same time enough control and the compensation structure to build the right kind of culture and this and the behaviors, क्योंकि वो आपके लिए जरूरी है. But why my question is that uh, आप जब यहाँ से एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं और जिससे आपने माल लेना है, तो वो आपके पैसे लेके क्यों भाग गया? आप रेडी माल नहीं ले रहे, आप खेत पे लगा हुआ माल ले रहे हैं, आलू की बात कर रहे हैं तो.
नहीं, रेडी एक्चुअली जो फर्स्ट शिपमेंट हमारा था वो तो हमने उससे वन विंडो सोल्यूशन लिया था कि आप जो खेत से माल भी लेंगे उसको स्पेसिफिक साइज का वो एक पोटैटो होता है और उसको स्पेसिफिक
जी
पैकेजिंग
सॉर्टिंग
में
करेंगे.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल वो पैकेजिंग भी करवाएंगे आप. और मुझे आप सब कुछ करने के बाद आप मुझे डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैंड ओवर कर देंगे कि ये डॉक्यूमेंट्स आपके आपके जो कंटेनर है वो यहाँ से शिप हो चुका है और इतने दिन बाद वहाँ से क्लियर हो जाएगा. बट इसमें आई मीन द रिस्क ये है कि वहाँ पे एक्चुअली मार्केट ही ऐसे चल रही है कि यू विल हैव टू मेक एडवांस पेमेंट्स एटलीस्ट इनिशियली जब तक आपका कुछ अच्छा नाम वहाँ पे नहीं बन जाता. और इसमें बड़ा रिस्क होता है. आई मीन एक कंटेनर जो है वो अच्छा खासा आई मीन यू कैन से 2 मिलियन अराउंड 2 मिलियन का एक कंटेनर होता है. सो इसमें ये है कि बड़ा रिस्क इन्वॉल्व होता है और दूसरी दफा हमारी हिम्मत नहीं हुई इतना एडवांस पे करने की. सो दैट वाज वन ऑफ द रीजन.
And do you have a right to work in Oman? अगर आप वहां पे जाके इंपोर्ट करते हैं, can you do that? Can you incorporate a company and you can let the people to become your supplier rather than employees, and you create a value there by sitting there and selling it, importing it under your own name without paying advance against the LCs and stuff, and then let the people take care of that. और आपका acceptance जब तक नहीं होगी, quality सही नहीं आएगी, inspection के लिए you can have people here before they put everything there, rather than कि आप खुद buy करें और खुद sell करें. You take care of selling and you can create a value chain here.
या जब इस चीज पे हम आते हैं तो जब हमने इस चीज को ये भी एक सर्विस होती है कि यू कैन बाय रेडीमेड कंटेनर फ्रॉम ओमान पोर्ट. बट उसमें जब हमने मार्जिन कैलकुलेट किया तो इट वाज आई मीन अभी कुछ बच नहीं रहा था यू कैन से कि देयर वाज नथिंग लेफ्ट बिहाइंड बाय द रेडीमेड कंटेनर फ्रॉम ओमान पोर्ट. सो इसलिए फिर हमने डिसाइड किया कि हमें यहाँ से अगर बाय करके अगर हम करते हैं तो कुछ एक डिसेंट अमाउंट हमें डिसेंट मार्जिन एक मिल रहा है. बट ये कि इसलिए हमने ये आइडिया फिर छोड़ दिया था कि वहीं से रेडीमेड हम बाय करके सेल करें.
Any feedback on the business model for Khan? So there are certain feedback for Khan for you in the question box.
Sure.
So join any entrepreneur circle and you will find partners there rather than employees someone, or try and travel a lot. And then why choose Oman if it's such a risk? So you can look at the other countries as well. So you can, but then again, you have to travel and create that customer base.
Yeah, exactly. Actually,
So
supply base.
Gigi.
Supply. I mean, my major problem is actually the supply side. I mean, if I can, if someone take care of my supply side, then I can take care of my demand side and I can create that demand there. What I believe. But supply side is too risky. I mean, एक आध शिपमेंट इसमें ये हो कि आधी शिपमेंट आपकी आई मीन हमने और भी कंसाइनमेंट की आधी शिपमेंट आपकी खराब निकल आई. सो अगेन वो एक इशू आ गया था. So what would you suggest, Sajid? I mean, how can I mean, मुझे जो लग रहा है वो ओवरऑल प्रोसीजर में कंट्रोल्स जो हैं वो बहुत वीक हैं, और जब हम उसको टाइटन करने जाते हैं तो नो वन इज रेडी टू वर्क विद अस.
I think first understand this your value chain, right? You are talking about the agricultural product. You are talking about Pakistan largest segment where the maximum labor is working and the most informal sector we are talking about. जब आप
Yes.
उनसे कंट्रोल्स की बात करेंगे, जब आप उनसे कहेंगे बैंकिंग पेमेंट होगी, मैं आपको एलसी दूंगा, तो आप जब भेजेंगे वहां पे इंस्पेक्शन होगी, दे विल नॉट इवन अंडरस्टैंड दैट स्पेस. सो उसके
Exactly.
लिए उसको एक्सप्लॉइट करता है दरमियान में कोई ना कोई मिडल मैन हु टेक केयर ऑफ दैट, हु अंडरस्टैंड योर रिक्वायरमेंट एंड ही कैन आल्सो कम्युनिकेट टू दैट इनफॉर्मल सेगमेंट. और वो उसकी बेस पे दे मेक अ मार्जिन जो आप और जो एक्चुअल सप्लायर है दोनों लूज कर जाते हैं, जस्ट बिकॉज दे कैन टेक दैट रिस्क. वो जो अपना रिस्क मैनेज कर रहा होता है दरमियान में, सो ही और शी मेक मनी आउट ऑफ इट. अब अगर आपने इस सेक्टर में घुसना है तो सबसे पहले
Yes.
आपको फॉर कपल ऑफ टाइम यू रियली हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इसके वैल्यू चेन. और सबसे ज्यादा जो चीज खूबसूरत अब आएगी ना, जो मेरी बहुत बड़ी इस वक्त उम्मीद है, होप है गवर्नमेंट की साइड से, वो है स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन. गवर्नमेंट इज कमिंग अप विद अ सर्टेन स्टैंडर्ड व्हाट यू कैन एंड कांट डू. जो पाकिस्तान इस वक्त हब बना हुआ है ना, बैकयार्ड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, एंड देन whatever we export there is no standard to really measure it. It's your best एस्टिमेट और बेंचमार्क और विशफुल थिंकिंग के आलू का साइज ये होना चाहिए. लेकिन जो सॉर्टिंग और स्टैंडर्डाइजेशन पूरी वर्ल्ड में एग्जिस्ट करती है वो बहुत डिफरेंट है. वहां पे बीज से लेके और उसकी स्टोरेज तक के हर एक का अपना अपना स्टैंडर्ड है, एंड दैट स्टैंडर्ड क्रिएट अ वैल्यू फॉर द एग्रीकल्चर वन. नंबर टू, एग्रीकल्चर में इस वक्त भी हम 30-35% वेस्टेज की बात करते हैं जो बहुत ज्यादा हाई है. सो आपके पास जहां पे वैल्यू पड़ी हुई है ना, इफ इस 35% वेस्टेज को आप लेट से 20% पे ले जाते हैं, वो जो 10% 15% का गेन आप जनरेट कर रहे हैं इकोनॉमी में, वो बहुत बड़ा है. सो दैट्स द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम यू कैन सॉल्व विदाउट डूइंग ए एक्सपोर्ट वन. उसको आप कहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, क्योंकि आपके पास अगर एक्सपोर्ट की मार्केट है, यू वांट समबडी टू प्रोवाइड यू द सॉर्टेड प्रोडक्ट विद द राइट काइंड ऑफ कमिटमेंट विद द इंटेग्रिटी. बिलीव मी, इफ दैट्स हैपनिंग, लोग खुद ही एक्सपोर्ट कर लेंगे. ये वो सारा दरमियान का गैप है जिसको कवर करने के लिए मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम मिडल मैन बैठा होता है, राइट? सो
Exactly.
you have to live with that because that's what where we are. So दूसरी चीज, I think if you want to get into the agriculture side, the best way is आप खुद जमीन जो है उसको start thinking about it or convincing some other person कि let's say अगर आप 2 या 4 key products देखते हैं ना, तो आप उसको लीज पे लैंड लेके let the person do that one for you only. So you don't have to, the person should not be employee for you, but वो सारा जो आपका अरेंजमेंट होता है जिसको आप कैप्टिव सेल्स दे रहे हैं, let the person invest in that and then bring those products to you, and at the same time उसके साथ साथ आपके पास मार्केट भी डेवलप होना शुरू हो जाएगी, rather than कि आप रैंडमली बाय कर रहे हो.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है.
Because
आई थिंक जी 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 प्लीज.
so I just wanted to ask. I mean, I don't think that there will be anyone who lives in Oman or have a job in Oman. So I mean, he can be. I mean, हम कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं एक दूसरे से, और अगर कोई I mean ज्वाइन करना चाहे हमें ट्रस्ट वर्दी. I mean वही अगेन वही बात है कि ट्रस्ट करना बड़ा मुश्किल हो गया, क्योंकि आप शुरू में ही जो है वो I mean इसका ये मसला हुआ है. So if anyone is there and who is willing to join me as a part time initially and then.
Yep. No, that definitely आपके पास अब नेटवर्क है, why not go on LinkedIn and start looking for ACCA members living in Oman or working in Oman. You will figure out some people there. और आपके पास एक कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म है जिससे आप लिंक कर सकते हैं.
Okay.
Right. So Furkan, thank you very much for sharing, and I'm not sure, लेकिन guys, let me share some of my I wouldn't say the word disappointment, but I was expecting more people to come up with this one. And I'm sure there are a lot of ideas which we haven't shared. And I'm sure there are people who have got those ideas, उन्होंने more or less किसी form or shape पे इस पे काम किया हुआ है. But unless until you bring it out, you are brave enough to bring this thing out and share with others, it's not going to work. अब आपके पास, if I'm not mistaken, आपके पास tomorrow or day after you have got a team assignments, right? Mutay, it's Friday. Team activity.
Yes, sir.
It's Friday.
Yes, sir,
So
on Friday.
and the Friday is off as well. So I'll encourage you कि अब आप 2, 3 या 4 या 5 लोग जो हैं मिल के एक ग्रुप में, any idea you are working and you feel that you all can contribute, I think you should work together and create a one final business model canvas. And the best would be जो I'm not sure आप में से कितने लोग familiar हैं 54 hours startup weekend, जिसमें आइडिया से लेके फंड रेजिंग तक 54 आवर्स में होती है. फ्राइडे आफ्टरनून में शुरू होता है और संडे इवनिंग में खत्म होता है. सो यू हैव टू रियली कम अप विद द आइडिया, गेट इट शॉर्टलिस्टेड, उसके ऊपर टीम बनानी होती है, उस टीम ने काम करना होता है. यू हैव टू क्रिएट योर प्रोटोटाइप्स, यू हैव टू रेज इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड यू हैव टू मेक a first paid sale as well 54 hours पे. And normally these are the kids who are somewhere between 18 to 22. So yeah, Kwab, we know that it's 12 Rabiul Awwal. So work in a team, whether on Friday afterward, but in the next session, please come up as a team. आपकी teams बनी हुई हैं already? आपकी I'm sure आपकी teams बनी थी उसके लिए, case studies के लिए, presentation के लिए. Do you have teams in place, Mutay? Do we have those teams in place? Mutay.
Yes, sir. I think yeah, yes, and we have already shared link with them.
Okay, we will come up with the names and the teams later. So Mutahid, आपने एक वो दोबारा से teams अगर आपके पास already data पड़ा हुआ, just club them together, and then going forward, I wouldn't say Friday. You have to come up with that when you want to do that. We will just create a team and send the name that who is in what team. Mutahid, we can do that, I'm sure.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, so we can send that groups and the teams and create a one final business model, and we will love to see one who can raise the money and make their first sale, and if you can come up with a prototype at the same time. Have a
साथ
look at
टीम
54 hours.
लिंक शेयर कर ले.
Startup. जी
लिंक्स अगर हम इनके साथ शेयर कर ले, जो हमने टीम लिंक बनाए हैं, क्रिएट किए हैं, और वो खुद ही चूज कर ले अपनी अपनी टीम को. 10 पर्सन अगर ईच टीम में चले जाए और वो वहीं पे वो डिसाइड कर ले कि कौन लीड करेगा और कौन उस टीम को लेके आगे चलेंगे.
So Mutahid, I'll leave these mechanics to you. Please do that. आपने पहले भी इसको बनाया था, so let's create that one. So any assistance you need, please talk to Mutahid. But आपका next session जो हो रहा होगा, 10 is huge, Moise is saying. So yeah, ideally 5. 5 is a good number. 5 or less is a good team size. So if you can come up with something, I would encourage you to look at the 54-hour startup, 54 hours weekend startup, right? Google that. So see how, if those kids can get to that level, why can't you? So आगे आपके पास long weekend भी आ रहा है. So I think that's a good time to work it out. Any question? Okay, guys, thank you very much. And keep it up. एक चीज, I'll just leave you with the one message. एक तो definitely you have to go back and see के सोचिएगा कि आप कैसे सोचते हैं. But another thing which is important, and that's from the economics perspective, economics is all around the productivity. And Pakistan is unfortunately is one of a country जहाँ पे हमारी overall productivity is less than 20%, if we compare it with our immediate neighbors. And the productivity is not like only how we are spending time, is that how that time spent is generating value. उसका output क्या है? Right? So whether we are deploying land, labor, and capital, whatever we talk about, how we are deploying those resources और उसकी productivity कहाँ पे है. So do challenge yourself कि आप अपनी productivity को किस तरह measure करते हैं and how you benchmark that one. So think about the productivity. Productivity is ultimately is something which as a country we are looking at how we can produce better, how our productivity gain can lead to a better economic prosperity, how that productivity gains can lead to a more inclusive society, and how we can take everybody along if we can generate those productivity gains for Pakistan. So think about it and try to evaluate where you stand in terms of that collective responsibility which we need to generate in terms of increase that or generate that productivity gain for Pakistan. Guys, thank you very much. So see you in the next session.